Folks, hello and welcome to Tavern Chat. I am your host, Eric Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR and main proprietor at the Ten Cars Tavern blog. By the way, tencarstavern.com, link on the bottom of the screen. We have launched OSR Christmas for 2023. Day one will be taking comments, I believe, through Thursday around noon. So if you wish to be considered for an OSR Christmas Day one gift, if you want to be put into the pot, go to tencarstavern.com and comment. By the way, day two will be on this very channel Wednesday night, the 8 p.m. live show, probably around 9 p.m. We will do some giveaways for OSR Christmas. So now that the basics are out of the way, Hasbro laying off 1,100 workers as weak toy sales persist into the holiday season. Those of you who have been reading along on the blog side for a number of years, and I'm talking about going back to when D&D, 10 years, when D&D Next was a thing. And the time shortly after that, WotC often had the Christmas layoffs. Well, right now, Hasbro is essentially having Christmas layoffs, which would likely include folks at Hasbro. Sorry, folks at WotC. Hasbro said it would cut 1,100 jobs as it struggles with slumping toy sales. A company memo said the company, which makes Transformers and My Little Pony toys, had already cut about 800 jobs earlier this year. That's 1,900 jobs from its workforce in a year, over 25% of its workforce. Hasbro is laying off about 1,100 employees as the toy maker struggles with soft sales that have carried into the holiday shopping season, according to a company memo obtained by CNBC. Hasbro had about 6,300 employees as of earlier this year. That's after the first, what did they say, 800 were let go? So they started the year with about 7,100. They're at 63. They're looking to get that down to 5,200. Yeah, they're doing fine. Shares of the company fell more than 4% in extended trading Monday. Rival Mattel stock also slipped after hours. We anticipated the first three quarters to be challenging, particularly in toys, where the market is coming off historic pandemic driven highs, CEO Chris Cox said in a memo. While we have made some important progress across our organization, the headwinds we saw through the first 9 months of the year have continued into holiday and likely will persist into 2024. Hasbro, which has already laid off hundreds of employees earlier this year, had warned in October that trouble was on the horizon. In the company's most recent quarterly earnings report, Hasbro slashes already soft full year outlook, projecting a 13 to 15% revenue decline for the year. Popular toy brand sales had dropped significantly. Hasbro also said in the October quarterly report, popular brands like My Little Pony, Nerf, and Transformer had fallen 18% of the time due to softer category trends. Hasbro stock was down nearly 20% through Monday's close. Now, let's go on to the full memo from CEO Chris Cox. Team. Now, just imagine you're sitting there realizing, especially if you're one of the ones at WotC, the gamer side, and you realize that they're letting go about 20% of their current workforce. So you know your odds are about 1 in 5. A year ago, we laid out our strategy to focus on building fewer, bigger, better brands and began the process of transforming Hasbro. Since then, we've had some important wins like retooling our supply chain, improving our inventory position, lowering costs, and reinvesting over $200 million back into the business while growing share across many of our categories. But the market headwinds we anticipated have proven to be stronger and more persistent than planned. While we're confident in the future of Hasbro, the current environment demands that we do more, even if these choices are some of the hardest we've had to make. Today, we're announcing additional headcount reductions. Don't you love corporate speech? Additional headcount reductions, firings, as part of our previously communicated strategic transformation, affecting approximately 1,100 colleagues globally, in addition to the roughly 800 reductions already taken. Our leadership team came to this difficult decision after much deliberation. We recognize this is heavy news that affects the livelihoods of our friends and colleagues, which is why we're doing it right before Christmas, right during Hanukkah, because you can't. You gotta do it, when it's most appropriate. Our focus is communicating with each of you transparently and supporting you through this period of change. And if you're losing your job, your unemployment, please don't collect unemployment insurance for too long. It hurts our bottom line. I want to start by addressing why we are doing this now and what's next. Why now? If you're one of those 1 in 5, you don't give a shit why now. But hey, we enter 2023 expecting a year of change, including significant updates to our leadership team, structure, and scope of operations. We anticipated the first 3 quarters to be challenging, particularly in toys where the market is coming off historic pandemic driven highs. While we have made some important progress across our organization, the headwinds we saw through the first 9 months of the year have continued into holiday and likely to persist into 2024. To position Hasbro for growth, we must first make sure our foundation is solid and profitable. To do that, we need to modernize, downsize, our organization and get even leaner. While we see workforce reductions as a last resort, given the state of our business, it's a lever we must pull to keep Hasbro healthy. What happens next? While we're making changes across the entire organization, some functional areas will be affected more than others. Many of those whose roles are affected have been or will be informed in the next 24 hours, although the timings will vary by country, in line with local rules and subject to employee consultations where required. This includes team members who have raised their hands to step down from their roles at the end of the year as part of our voluntary early retirement program in the U.S. We're immensely grateful to these colleagues for their many years of dedication, and we wish them all the best. The majority of the notifications will happen over the next 6 months, with our balance occurring over the next year as we tackle the remaining work on our organization model. This includes standardizing processes within finance, HR, IT, and consumer care as part of our global business enablement project, but it also means doing more work across the entire business to minimize management layers and create a nimbler organization. What else are we doing? I know this news is especially difficult during the holiday season. We value each of our team members. They aren't just employees, they're friends and colleagues. We decided to communicate now so people have time to plan and process the changes. Because it makes for a better holiday when you can tell your family, I'm unemployed, I got downsized. For those employees affected, we are offering comprehensive packages, including job placement support, to assist in their transition. We have also done what we can to minimize the scale of impact, like launching the VRP and exploring options to reduce our global real estate footprint. On that note, our Providence, Rhode Island office is currently not being used to its full capacity, and we decided to exit the space at the end of the lease term in January 2025. Over the next year, we'll welcome teams from our Providence office to our headquarters down the road in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. It's an opportunity to reshape how we work and ensure our workspace is vibrant and productive while reflecting a more flexible in person cadence since the pandemic. Looking ahead, as Gina often says, cost cutting is not a strategy. We know this, and that's why we'll continue to grow and invest in several areas in 2024. As we uncover more cost savings, we'll invest in new systems, insights, and analytics, product development, and digital, all while strengthening our leading franchises and ensuring our brands have the essential marketing they need to thrive well into the future. Essential marketing, like the lack of marketing of the D&D channel that's on demand on Freevee and Plex. I did more to advertise this. Other YouTube channels have done more to show this stuff exists than WotC or Hasbro does. We'll also tap into unlocked potential across our business, like our new supply chain efficiency, our direct to consumer capabilities, which again, direct to consumer capabilities that you buy the physical product from WotC, Hasbro. You get the digital 2 weeks early, and you cut out the middleman. You give more profit to WotC. It's a good strategy. Don't get me wrong. Sucks if you're, I don't know, an independent retailer. And key partnerships to maximize licensing opportunities, scale entertainment, and free up our own content dollars to drive new brand development. I know there is no sugarcoating how hard this is, particularly for the employees directly affected. If you're directly affected, you're fired. We're grateful to them for their contributions, and we wish them all the best. But thank you for no longer being an employee, because us getting rid of you saves us money. In the coming weeks, let's support each other and lean in to drive through these necessary changes so we can turn our business to growth and carry on Hasbro's mission. Thanks, Chris. So, folks, there you have it. We've known Hasbro has been suffering for a while. These, this kind of cut in your workforce, that's not trimming fat. Okay, you're trimming some muscle there. You're getting into the lean meat, and not always the healthiest way to do it. Folks, I've heard rumors about their ambitions for digital, and how physical products are not going to be a primary concern unless they're specialized and collectible from WotC. But I think this tells you how, if it wasn't for Baldur's Gate 3, WotC / Hasbro would have lost more money and probably cut more workers. So if you are a current Hasbro employee, if you are going to be downsized, you're in my prayers. The timing certainly sucks, although there's never any good timing for such an event. All right, folks, on that note, as always, be safe, be well, God bless, roll those dice, roll them well. 10cardstavern.com for OSR Christmas. And this Wednesday night, OSR Christmas, day 2, will be here on this very channel. Join us. All right, folks. Laters.